Hey. Hi. I know this is so random, right? I don't normally come and do like these middle of the night readings on Saturdays and whatever, but I felt like I should because you know what? Like, I've had a lot going on today, but I keep having like a lot of like third eye activation, a lot of visions, and then like I was feeling like super in the zone, and I was like, oh, earlier today, I felt like maybe coming and doing a reading then. And I was like, well, I don't know. I was like, I've not been doing them as often since the beginning of the year because I really do them mostly when I feel led to do them, right? Especially since I've transitioned mostly into doing readings as like for star seeds. Oh, that's too many. Um, I really transitioned into doing readings for like high priestess, Darcy, chosen one, that kind of vibe, right? And then after these three, I'll switch decks and go to something else, unless I feel anything else. Ooh, this is kind of a lot. Ooh, chakras. So what's an interesting thing? The letters. Right. So we have like chakras reversed, right? So what's interesting about that is that I have this new deck. I got a new deck and it's like the shadows deck. And it's for shadow work. And I actually grabbed this card keeps wanting to fall off. It's the fairy ring, so I'm gonna keep it. Because that keeps wanting to join the read before I even got to that deck. So, but I had also thought, oh, well, maybe I'll do this as like a shadow work reading. And I grabbed the shadow deck. And then I felt like I should bring the shapeshifters. But then I also felt like maybe I should bring the Alice in Wonderland. So let's see what we got here, yeah? So we have self-care in there. Wow, you know what? This is a lot of reversals. Look, this, and also at the bottom of the deck, we have this letter. Just 36 says, you may be receiving a message of importance. You may be receiving a message that was important to somebody else. So, I almost kind of don't want to do this now. Because this is kind of giving me the energy of like somebody who's like, because like sometimes I'll take reversals to mean like somebody else is in the energy who shouldn't be there. Because we also have socks, right? Which the socks talk about coziness, being introspective, complacency. So it's like, I don't know who this message is for, but there is somebody in your energy who they are trying really hard to get into alignment and to practice better self-care and to prioritize themselves, but they really need to write this letter to themselves. But they've been so focused on creating this cozy energy that it's kind of given this feeling of like this person really needs some guidance as to how to properly get into alignment. And this card kept wanting to come off the shapeshifter deck. The fairy ring, new skills, advanced training, and rapid improvements. So you may get a letter from somebody who is going to ask you to help them learn how to get in alignment or learn how to balance out their energies and their chakras. But I feel like this letter that they're writing to you, they should probably just to their, like, they really need to write themselves a letter. Ooh, splitting on awakening and winter. So, like, yeah, so, like, whoever this is, you have somebody in your energy who is, like, going through a spiritual awakening. They're going through a lot of grief. So, like, it's hard to tell if the grief triggered the awakening or the awakening is just bringing grief, you know, because that happens. Oh yeah, grief and greed. Okay, so like maybe this person spirit's like waking this person up to the fact that they've allowed their greed to ruin something to the point that it's giving them grief, and they've taken a fall from grace. Somebody took a massive fall and now reversals. So this person, you know what? Because it says reversals, they may have done a bunch of spirit work on you, and the Holy Spirit was like protecting you. Reversed it. Because the Holy Spirit was like, not today. And then the key. So there's a key. What key means for you. I feel led to hold on to key, and I'm going to put that on the letter. Ooh, behind that key is a secret. I feel like that secret matches the socks and the cozy. Ooh, I'm splitting and I see melting. And I also see vigilance. So I do feel like, and then we have the necropolis reversed, which is really interesting because that came up earlier tonight for something else. Which in necropolis is basically like the city of the dead, right? Or the underworld. Oh man. You know what? I tapped into an energy earlier tonight, and it's making me wonder if it's like that again. Splitting on... Oh, and then the fairy ring, which talks about new skills and advanced training, and I'm splitting on the mermaid and the turtle, and it talks about an elder will teach you. So, like, somebody wants... And it also, we also have Fiona and the unicorn, right? Which talks about the gift of sacred sight. So somebody knows... I'm feeling led to take both of these. Because I feel like that's what this is. Ooh, and I feel like this is it too. When I saw that split on the grief, the butterflies and glue, after sadness, happiness, and hope returns. So I feel like whoever this person is that's going to reach out to you, they know that you have spiritual gifts and they want you to mentor them, basically. So there's somebody who's trying to get into alignment, who knows that you have a gift of sight. Because there's something going on between them and the underworld, and they know that you either are a key or possess a key, or there's something that they need from you that's the key to get themselves out of that. So I split on Brother Raccoon, a safe place for you to go, and then 2 kittens and you must choose, but it's upside down. So it's like, I feel like when this person comes to you with their letter, they may try to give you this energy of they want you to make a choice for them, but it's actually them who needs to choose between those 2 things. Like, so I would be really careful. The fact that I saw, like, that you need to choose between 2 options, but it was reversed. And if this person is coming to you asking for help, and then they want you to make their choice for them, it's like, you know what? Part of getting into alignment is learning how you have to do shadow work and you have to learn discernment, because as you ascend and you, cause like once you go through a spiritual awakening, it's not like you just wake up once and that's it, you know. We can constantly go through like ascensions on top of ascensions, and so it'll be like, well, you know, yeah, okay, you're waking up now, but you still need to learn discernment because you need to be able to know this stuff for yourself. You know, it's like we all learn and then we pass on what we learn. So split on pose brave flight. You will not let fear stop you this time. So they may have wanted to do this for a while, but they were too scared. And it says you inspire trust and confidence, but it was reversed. So I think whoever this is, feel intimidated by you and or was hoping to intimidate you. And so I feel like, I don't know. See, and then we have the Princess of Time, or Priestess of Time. It talks about the time has come, the time is now, but it's reversed. So, like, somebody doesn't know if they should do it now. So it seems like there's an issue of timing. This person crosswatches. They should probably just do it. You know what? Which I get. You know, I'm a super neurotic person, so I understand, like, the wanting to line everything up and do everything correctly. But then there will be some things in life that is just, you know, there will be some things that is, like, never going to be the best time. You just have. Sometimes there's like a now or never, you know? And that's why discernment is important, because working on your discernment will help you to be able to tap in and know deep down and be like, if, you know, because you'll need to know, like, sometimes you get a second chance and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can pick it up whenever you want to, and sometimes it doesn't come back around. And changed in the night. So it says you have changed overnight. So, like, we have becoming braver, but it's in reverse. So I feel like this person has been getting a new perspective, and they do feel like they're growing stronger. So, like, the resilience is there. But when you talk about becoming braver, I feel like, interesting. So, so this person feels like they've made a mistake that they can't come back. Maybe that's true. That could be, because on the bottom we also have mortality, which I feel like also echoes the necropolis. It says life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. So I feel like this person may be coming to you because they may feel like um they may have a health condition that makes them feel like they don't have much longer to live. Or for some reason, it does seem like timing, because, like, we have the timing, and then, like, life is short. So maybe this is somebody who was like, they're nearing the end of their life, and they've started to realize that they're not going to make it out of this, and they want to get right before they pass away. That's what this is starting to feel like. So it's almost feeling like, so somebody wants you to help them get into alignment so that they can pass away in peace. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. So we had this key and the letter. So I feel like you're going to receive a contact from somebody who wants you to help them do this. So I feel, as with everything, you can decide whether or not you want to do this, because if they feel like they made a mistake and this was with you, you know, it's like, well, we can forgive people, but forgiving people doesn't necessarily mean that we have to allow them to continue to do anything else to further, you know what I mean? It's like a person's mistake or toxic patterns. It's like, if we allow ourselves to continue with those people after those things happen, then it's like, are you even a victim anymore, or are you just enabling these cycles to keep continuing in your life? And I feel especially able to speak on that, since I've gone through problems with that. So in the past I used to. So, you know, it's just, you know, it's like sometimes we just have to tell people no. But I feel like if depending what your situation is, if you're somebody where you feel like you want to do that or you should do that, or maybe it's in your soul contract to do this, and and then that's again where it comes to down to your own discernment as well. Just like I said, like this other person needed to have discernment, you needed to have discernment. So like when this person comes along and you want to ask yourself, well, should I really help them? It's like, well, if you can, I mean, because sometimes you can tell people all the right things and give them all the tools. And at the end of the day, they have to be the ones who apply it in their own life. And none of us can make somebody else do that. Like, I talk to people all the time. And when I talk about, like, we're especially in topics that have to do with spirituality, it's like, well, you know what? At the end of the day, we all have choices to make, and you know, we all have choices, and not making a choice that you should be making is a forfeit, and forfeit is still a choice, even if you take the cowardly way out. I mean, it's you choosing to do that. Look, you can choose whatever you want. But just because you can choose whatever you want doesn't mean that you're not going to end up with a regret later on. And sometimes it's like what seems really scary or gives you the most anxiety. I feel like if you address it, then you know what? That gives you the opportunity to resolve it and grow from it. So, I'm a super neurotic person. So like if you were somebody who knew me, periodically I'll go around to people that I feel close to and ask them if they're mad at me. And so sometimes when I do that, people will be like, "Oh," and it's like, "Sorry if that's annoying." And it's like, "Well, you should be glad that I'm still asking you, because when we get to the point that I no longer ask, then I've probably exited and I'm probably not going to come back and ever ask you anything ever again." So it's like, that's that all or nothing part of me. It's like, okay, well, you can either have me as my neurotic self or I'll just not be around. So that's it. You know, and not everybody wants to deal with that. And that's just something I have to accept, right? And this is just an example of like how these kind of things play out. And somebody has to decide for themselves what they want to do. And I don't know what else to say about it. So that's it. If you listen to all of this, thank you so much for listening to the whole thing. If you like a personal reading, you can reach out and contact me. I don't mind to do them. I do have an Etsy shop, and or I do have a coffee set up if you'd like to support me in any way. So that's it. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Happy Sunday.